Am I the a-hole for giving my friend first aid on a sensitive area? You may be seated. This happened the other day. I, 23 male, was at a pool party at my best friend Greg's house. There was also a slip and slide set up and people were using it. My friend Amy used it and screamed. The whole party turns to her and she's clutching her breast and there's blood pouring out of her hand. She slid over a rock and cut herself. Ooh, ouchie, ouch kabibble, ouchie Dr. Fauci. I'm in nursing school, so I run over to her and ask to see the cut. She pulls her hand away, and I see that it doesn't look too serious, but it definitely needs attention. I turn to Greg and ask him if he has a first aid kit, and he says yes, in the bathroom inside the house. So I walk Amy into the house and grab the first aid kit. I pause for a second and ask her if she's okay with me helping her with this, or if she wants to do it herself because of where the cut is. And she says,
"No, I trust you, and I want your help."
Okay, so you asked for consent. So we go into the bathroom and wash the cut. I look at it more closely to make sure it isn't serious. I put some Neosporin on it and bandage it up nicely. Amy thanks me, and we go back outside. A couple women come up to Amy and ask if she's okay, and one of them, Sarah, gives me a dirty look, and they kind of lead her away. I go back to where I was sitting and Greg sits next to me and says, "Some people were talking crap out here. I did my best to defend you, but I figured you should know that they were talking crap about you helping Amy. I don't really understand what they expect. I feel like you did everyone a solid, including Amy." I asked him what he meant and he said Sarah was saying it was creepy how I sprung into action when I saw an opportunity to play with a... You sprung into action because that's what you're trained to do. What if it was much, much worse? Like, what if she cut herself so bad and she lost so much blood that, like, it was, like, life-threatening? I don't know. What do you expect someone to do who's, like, a nurse or a doctor? You expect them to just kind of dilly-dally and, like... No, like, if someone has a cut and someone is hurt or someone's in a situation where they need medical attention, you don't dilly-dally about it. A few of the other women and one guy agreed and were making fun of me. I'm sorry, so like what did they do in this situation? They just sat there and made fun of the person who's helping?
What?
Got it. I was pretty upset about that, but I didn't want to make a scene, so I just ignored it for the time being. Later that day, though, I was sitting by the fire pit and Sarah was sitting across from me and nobody else was around the area. So I asked her why she was making fun of me for helping Amy. She said,
"I guess that was a little mean of me. I'm sorry I did that. But I just thought it was kind of weird how you saw her chest was hurt and you ran up to her and insisted to help."
He's in nursing school. I know you're in nursing school, but I think you should have let a girl handle it. I mean, is there a girl that's a nurse or a doctor there, or is he the only one? We all know first aid too, so why didn't they help? I thanked her for her apology, and I don't like confrontation, so I just said, all right, I guess I'll keep that in mind from now on. So, update from OP. I called Amy. I asked her how the cut was healing. She said it was healing well and she was keeping an eye on it. Then I asked her if she knew anything about the things Sarah and the others were saying about me and what Sarah said at the fire pit. Amy had no idea. She said the other women were asking her if she was okay and what happened, but she assumed they were worried about the injury, not my helping her. And Amy was absolutely pissed and went to the friend group chat and tore people apart that were talking crap about me, especially Sarah. Sarah and the others apologized to me in the group chat, but Amy kept going and said I shouldn't accept their apologies because they sat back and talked crap on the one person who stepped up and helped her. Yes, Amy stood on business. What a good friend. Amy also asked Greg not to invite Sarah to the next pool party and Greg readily agreed. A few of the others tried to say that was too far, but Amy told them to shut the F up and do something next time someone's hurt instead of sitting on their butt and insulting me. Ooh, this is spicy. I fail to understand how they could pass this kind of judgment on someone who is literally helping their friend. Like, are they jealous that you are the better friend in this scenario? Like, I don't understand the motivation here. Maybe they feel like they should have done something, so they're making you look bad. I don't know. I don't understand the logic. But yeah, that's a really, really rude thing to do to someone who helped your friend. Not the a-hole. You asked permission before helping and she consented. There you go. You literally did everything right. Okay, we do have an update. Greg followed through on not inviting Sarah to the next party. She was upset about it, but accepted it. Then 2 days after the party, she called me and asked if we could meet in person and talk. Interesting that she wants to talk now that she's not invited to the pool parties anymore. She didn't really seem too ready to apologize when she was still invited. I don't trust this girl as far as I can throw her. And I can throw very far. I actually can't. I have very little upper body strength. Let's change the phrase to I can trust this girl as far as I can high jump. Which is quite tall. I said okay, and we met at Starbucks. She looked really sad and apologized to me profusely. She said she doesn't know why she said those things about me. She thinks she was ashamed of being frozen in fear when Amy got hurt, and she took that shame out on me by insulting me. Okay, but like, that's odd. That's really weird. Like, why did she make a situation where her friend was hurt about her? Hella weird. But that it was incredibly effed up to do because accusations like the one she threw at me, even if they were jokes, could ruin my entire career, and it was so wrong of her to do that just because she was ashamed of herself. I mean, that is a very good point. Like, you have to consider the fact that, like, all of these people were basically calling this guy a creep because he ran to help someone who was of the opposite sex. Like, accusations like that do not land lightly, okay? The last thing that you want is an accusation like that making the rounds, especially if you're going into a career like this. She seemed genuinely remorseful, so I forgave her and we're friends again. I told her I would talk to Greg about letting her back into the parties, but she said not to. What she did was super fricked, and she doesn't want to come back until Amy forgives her too. I said okay. We hugged and I went on my merry way. A couple of days after that, I'm hanging out with Amy at my house and we talk about the Sarah situation. I showed Amy the previous post and asked her if we should show the others. She said yes. So I showed everyone, including Sarah, and she was a little upset at first but quickly accepted it. Amy forgave Sarah a few days later, and she was invited to the 4th of July party 2 days ago on the 3rd, and we had a great time. Oh good. I'm glad that it seems to have turned out for the best. Sarah was a little awkward at first at this party, but quickly cheered up once we assured her that the drama was behind us and we accepted her apology and quickly moved on to joking about it, including Sarah pretending to slice open her chest with the dull side of a butter knife, saying,
"Hark, mine tender breast, it doth been sliced open like a ripe melon. Whomsoever will save me."
Okay, she won me over. She ripped off her bikini top and leapt into my lap. Which, to be really honest here, firmly put the issue to bed because everyone at the party was laughing for a good hour about that. So yeah, everything worked out in the end. I just want to put a cork in this story because when I saw it on TikTok, I realized how much people enjoyed it and thought it would be prudent to let people know that it had a definitive ending. But I think it's important to note here that Sarah apologized. I know we all like to kiki and like not trust other people. And hey, like I didn't really believe that Sarah had the best intentions. I have to be honest. Maybe I have trust issues.
Same here.
She genuinely apologized and was very remorseful, and she didn't just say sorry. Like, she understood the gravity of her actions and how that would affect others and wasn't expecting anything in return. It wasn't like I want to go so that I get invited to the pool party. It was, no, like, I'm apologizing. Like, I understand that it was like, no, she's apologizing and she doesn't expect to be invited until Sarah forgives her. So I feel like this was a 10 out of 10 apology. I'm very impressed. Is anyone else impressed? So are you the a-hole for giving your friend first aid on a sensitive area? You are absolutely not. You did so good, bestie. And I'm glad that this story had a happy ending. So remember, in order to not end a friendship in 10 seconds or less, we need to apologize for our actions when we are wrong. Am I the a-hole for ghosting over 30 longtime friends after none of them showed up to my 30th birthday? This was posted in the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. I, 30 female, just turned 30 on June 20th, and what would have been a special milestone turned into one of the most hurtful experiences I've had with my friends. Some context. In my 20s, I had a solid group of friends that I saw almost daily. A couple of years ago, I had to unexpectedly leave my hometown to go live in a metropolis, but we all kept in touch and continued to support each other emotionally. I've always been the go-to person. I work as a social worker in addiction support, run a nonprofit that provides free clothing and outreach to people experiencing homelessness, and I've helped many of these friends find therapists, doctors, housing, and even safety relationships. I always had a couch, a hot meal, and a listening ear for anyone who needed it. Oh my goodness. You are that friend, aren't you? I don't like where this is going. This year, I decided to plan something special for my 30th. I spent 2 months organizing a party with a silly theme. People over 30 would dress as geriatric patients, and under 30s would be our nurses, trying to keep us from doing anything too reckless. Oh, I love a theme party. People loved the idea and were really hyped about it. Knowing that some of my friends struggle with ADHD or planning, I even sent a few reminders as the date got closer. Then, 2 weeks before the party, a friend in my current city told me my ex had invited him and a few others others who were also planning to attend my party to a music festival that same weekend. They all chose the festival instead. That stung, but I thought, okay, maybe it's just the newer friends. A week before the party, I posted an update on social media saying how much it would mean to me to see my friends on this milestone. People responded with enthusiasm and told me they wouldn't miss it for the world. I mean, they did that publicly. Then the day of the party came. The cancellations started rolling in. Oof. I don't feel like driving an hour. I'm not feeling great today. I decided last minute to visit another city, and of course, I'm going to a festival. In the end, only 3 people truly made plans to be there. I was so heartbroken that I canceled the whole thing 2 hours before people were supposed to arrive. After that, I mass deleted over 300 people from my socials, 30 of whom were close friends. I can't lie and say that I wasn't feeling spiteful as I did it. What happened next? A few of the people I deleted reached out, saying things like, no hard feelings. I was not feeling good today. We're all good, right? And wanted me to reassure them that everything was fine. I mean, that's more for them than it is for you. They should feel bad. And guess what? You should let them feel bad. Here's a funny one. Others immediately resumed asking me for favors like a place to crash because they were visiting my city for a festival soon, as if nothing had happened. Wow. That's an absolutely not from me. I've chosen not to respond or to respond simply with, I'm not ready to talk. If I am one day, I'll reach out. I won't apologize for how I feel right now. The audacity of the friends to ditch you on your birthday and want to crash at your place so that they could go to a music festival that they ditched your birthday for. How are you not embarrassed? That said, I did make a point to go out with the 3 people who had planned to be there. I appreciated their effort more than they knew. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I can understand wanting to cancel the party because yeah, it would have been sad, but don't punish the people who did want to show up for you. So, am I the a-hole for ghosting over 30 people who couldn't come to my birthday even after I've given them multiple reminders? No. Screw them. Seriously? That's horrible. And I hate to say it, OP, but the fact that they had the audacity to even ask you for favors after they ditched you on your birthday, you're giving too much to these friendships. And this coming from someone who's a people pleaser and a giver, I get it. Unfortunately, you tend to kind of learn that people are not prepared to show up for you in the same way that you show up for them, unfortunately. And I'm not telling you to not be a giver anymore. I'm telling you to be a giver to those who deserve it. Update number 1, not my last update, but to clarify, I'm getting a bit roasted over the theme for my party. This theme wasn't only chosen by me. I actually like the theme. I think it's hilarious. Have you not seen all those TikToks of girls dressing up like old ladies and going out? It's hilarious. It was picked by a group of people of all ages, as most of us met while we were performing circus acts. And I usually do themed parties. People did show real excitement for the event. When I saw that, I was like, okay, then maybe people don't want to dress like an old person or something. No, it's super fun. And I actually thought about doing an old lady bachelorette, but we decided on a different theme. Maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you know and love me, that party's level of silly is in tune with my whole energy and the one I used to look for in friends. However, I just wanted to tell you that I did offer changing the theme after the first batch of people dropped out. So yeah, I guess people are saying, oh, they didn't want to go because of the theme. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Theme parties are hilarious. They are hilarious. And if people don't want to match that energy for your birthday, then screw them. That's not an excuse to not show up for a friend's birthday. Okay. OP updated, said, she offered to change the theme. No, these people would have just preferred to go to the music festival and that's it. Update number 2. I decided to send a message to 7 of the people who did not come. These were people who were longtime friends who I felt deserved an explanation. It is really shortened for time, but the main of it was similar to this. Hey, I wanted to share something that's been on my mind. For my 30th, I planned 2 months ahead, hoping to spend time with people I care about, but I ended up alone despite people telling me they would come. And honestly, it hurt. I'm not blaming anyone in particular because if it was just you and the others that came, I wouldn't have thought so long about this, but it made me reflect on my relationships and how much energy I give versus receive. I'm realizing I need more balanced connections where I'm not the one reaching out, organizing, or holding space. If we're going to stay close, I need you to make the first move. I care about you and hope we can reconnect in a way that feels mutual, but I also understand if you outgrew this relationship and need to make place for other things. This is very emotionally mature, I must say. Most of the people who reached back were apologetic and told me they would make more efforts in the coming month to show me they cared about our friendship. That's like the very, very least that they can do. It's one thing for one or two friends to not be able to show up. I feel like they all collectively decided to go to this like festival together. One person opened up about how she's been isolated from most friends since she got sober and is finding it hard to be a present friend to anyone. We talked for a while and decided we would remain good acquaintances for a time being and catch each other when we are in the same city. If we are going to work out eventually, we need to both not ask for extensive support for one another, and that's really okay with me. One person already invited me for a do-over between the both of us, where we are going to celebrate both of our past birthdays together, and I honestly really love that. She's taking me in nature to go fishing, which I love. Two people I was a bit more hurt by told me they were going to try. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and we'll plan anything or help until I can trust them more. I'm really impressed that you decided to communicate that like you weren't going to be the one to try anymore. I kind of been the person that has felt like I'm the only one putting in effort in certain friendships, so I've taken a step back, but I haven't communicated why. And I'm wondering if I could learn something from you. I don't want to be someone that just pulls back for no reason. Obviously, it's not pulling back for no reason, but to them, they might not understand. I feel like what you did was quite healthy. There was only one of the people who answered back so far that was still playing the guilt trip card and asking me for help. It stings because that person is my oldest friend and the person I put the most energy into helping. I'm gonna let that friendship go respectfully. I'm also not gonna go into too many details yet because this realization still hurts me and I need to process it a bit more. I don't really think that you're the a-hole here. I actually still think that you're being super, super nice. I can tell that you're a social worker because of the way that you choose to communicate. Very healthy. You shouldn't be dishing out advice that you can't take. So it's very, very clear that you know how to handle conflict or difficult situations. You seem quite mature, emotionally so. Not the a-hole. It's unfortunate that people chose to act like that. It sucks that your birthday was ruined, and it's good that you took the initiative to remove all those people from your lives. It taught you a lesson that some people use distance as an excuse to stop being your friend, which I believe is what happened to you. Not the a-hole. When people show you who they are, believe them. I do wonder if any adult can have 30 genuine friends in the first place, though. I mean, that is a very good point. 3 quality friends is a wonderful thing to have. Yes, I agree with that. I think I can count my quality friends on like one hand, and I prefer it that way. I also get very overwhelmed with everybody wanting to hang out all the time. Like, I'm busy, I'm making videos. Maybe we should be looking at it as, okay, you don't have 30 friends that wanted to show up for your birthday, but you do have 3 really good friends that showed up regardless. So you are not the a-hole for ghosting your 30 friends who didn't show up for your birthday. Should I reconnect with my friend who asked to be intimate with my husband? Some context. My husband, let's call him Brett, and I have been together since 2015, when I was in 9th grade and he was in 10th. I am 28 and he's now 29. My high school best friend, let's call her Rachel, and I used to be inseparable. Keyword used to be. We hung out at each other's houses every day. We took her dress shopping with us every year for school formals, and we even got matching belly button piercings when we got older. Needless to say, we were tight. Brett also had a best friend, let's call him Mark, and they were also inseparable. Just a few months after Brett and I got together, Rachel let me know she was now dating Mark. Rachel and I are the same grade, and Mark and Brett are the same grade as well. So our senior year, while Rachel and I were in school, Brett started college and Mark joined the military. It was during our senior year that Rachel decided to marry Mark, so that when she graduated, they could live on base together. Also important to note, her family that she lived with were all drunks, so her home life wasn't great. Fast forward 5 years, Rachel and Mark travel around every few years to a new base, but always would come back once a year to visit. Over the years, we would still talk, but we weren't as close as we were in high school. Me being a people pleaser, I would drop everything and hang out with her anytime they were in town. The only sucky part was that she would also invite all her other high school friends over at the same time, and it always felt like she was pitting us against each other for who could get more of her attention, especially with her friends, let's call them Carrie and Jane. This is important to note later. This particular time she came to visit, they had a big party at Mark's dad's house and invited 20 plus people. I didn't know this until I showed up. I was told it would just be me, her, and her newborn baby, who she just had not even 2 months earlier. She then told me she wanted everyone to meet her new son and apologized she didn't tell me. Again, with me being a people pleaser, I brushed it off. As the night goes on, Rachel, Mark, and most of the other guests besides Brett and myself began enjoying the devil's lettuce. Now for the interesting part. At one point in the night, Rachel hands her baby off to someone and asks to talk to me in private. Oh, about what? I'm gonna sit up in my chair for this one. I was so excited, thinking she wanted one-on-one time with me, which only made the whole exchange worse. She walks with me around to the other side of the house and we sit in some chairs on the back porch. She began asking me all about my life lately and showing what I thought was real genuine interest in me, only fueling my excitement. After about 10 minutes of back and forth, I asked her how her and Mark have been lately with a newborn around. This is when she tells me they've decided to start an open marriage. And they have a man back home in Nebraska living with them that they giggity-goo with as a throuple. Oh. Now I was surprised, but Rachel's always been a bit wild, so the idea of that wasn't totally out of the realm of what I thought possible. I mean, listen, as long as both people consent to it, why not? She went on to talk about how they swap spouses on the base, and they both have been enjoying it. Somewhere in this conversation, I find out this isn't a new thing. Oh wait, she wants to swap with your husband? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that's weird. Is that weird? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it wasn't the title, so. Somewhere in this conversation, I find out this wasn't a new thing. They had been doing this for 2 years. I brushed it off and listened to her talk. I mean, who was I to judge for her trying new things? If that's what keeps them happy, then good for them. Not like it has anything to do with me. That is what I thought until she casually threw in the question about what Brett was like in intimate settings. It caught me off guard, especially because I'm pretty closed off to the conversation with anyone about that part of our life, because Brett gets uncomfortable with other people knowing details, which I can totally understand. So I tell her I wasn't really comfortable sharing that, to which she replies, "Well, I'm hoping you'll let me find out for myself before we head home next week."
What?
Side-eye cam. Excuse me. I just kind of looked at her and she continued by asking my permission to confront Brett with the offer to sleep with him. This kind of is going like, I mean, we're not really like reading the room here. Like not everybody is open to sharing their husband. Also weird that she wants to do that with your husband. Regardless of whether or not she's in an open marriage, you're not. And like, I don't want to know that my friends want to do that with my husband, soon to be husband. Weird. I don't understand how you're supposed to be. Why she's so casual about it. Like what? She even went on to say I could borrow Mark for a few hours in exchange. Okay. In addition, she let me know it wouldn't be weird because they'd couple swapped with almost every other person at the party besides us. That still doesn't make it like normal. She talked about how Carrie and Jane were so generous to switch with her and she felt closer to them than ever. Okay, no. She's dangling a better friendship in front of your face so that she can screw your husband. This is messed up. It felt like she was trying to manipulate me into saying yes because by doing so, I would be on the same playing field as Carrie and Jane. Again, with pitting us against each other. I don't like this one bit. After a few seconds, I felt like something snapped in me and I said no, and I just walked back to the front of the house with the rest of the party. I looked around for Brett so we could leave, but he was so deep in what looked like a meaningful conversation with Mark that I didn't want to ruin that for him. He never gets to see him, so I thought I would wait until they looked like they were done to approach. That, of course, did not stop Rachel from walking right up to them and explaining her and Mark's open relationship and asking him to have sex with her. Absolutely not! You literally just said no. What part of no does Rachel not understand? No. This is weird. The nerve of her to even ask after I said no. Out of curiosity, I didn't interrupt. I wanted to see what Brett's answer would be. His face turned red and he immediately said, "I'm honored you would ask, but no thank you." He then turned and walked right up to me and asked if we could go, which we did. Fast forward to now, 5 years later, and we've barely spoken. At this point in my life, Brett and I are married, and we did invite them to the wedding. Oh, okay, so you weren't married before. I thought he was your husband. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And we did invite them to the wedding, which was awkward, and Rachel only made it worse by telling everyone how she wanted to ruin our wedding. We are pregnant with our first child. Rachel has contacted me on Facebook saying how happy she was for us and wanted to send us a gift. Okay, that's honestly the least she can do. This is the first kind of interaction I've had with her in 5 years. Here's my dilemma. We also have our 10-year class reunion next month, and she asked Brett and I to hang out while they are in town. So your friend manipulates you, pits her friends against each other, wants to be intimate with your husband and isn't shy about it, then did not respect your boundaries when you said no to her proposal of being intimate with your husband, and asked him anyway. Also went around telling people that she was going to ruin your wedding. The answer is pretty clear. How many things does this girl have to do? A lot of time has gone by between then and now, and I know Brett really wants to see Mark, then he can see Mark. But out of respect for my issues in the past with Rachel, he has not asked. That being said, should I man up and say yes to him seeing them and rekindling our friendship, or has that ship sailed at this point? Any outside thoughts would be appreciated, thanks. I understand you feel bad about Mark and Brett not hanging out, but they can hang out without you. And no Rachel. I'd be so weirded out. Like, I'm good. Should you reconnect with your friend who asked to sleep with your now husband? No. Ew. Stop. How many lines does this person have to cross for you to just say no? You're not obligated to see her. If your husband wants to see her husband, go for it. Make it clear that she can't be there, because we all know what might happen. But like, seriously, how much disrespect do you have to witness firsthand for you to not want to be around someone anymore? Like, please, for the love of God. Stop. It's not worth it. And plus, like, you don't even freaking see this person anymore. It's weird. No. You can see them at the high school reunion, but you shouldn't rekindle that friendship, especially since she went over your head to try and get gooey with your husband. Oh, here's some inspo for what you can write back, OP. Hi, Rach. I'm not sure where the wires have crossed, but I've wanted nothing to do with you since you tried to... My husband? I didn't want to interfere with my husband's friendship with Mark, but after your disgusting behavior at our wedding, I should make this clear. I find you gross. Stop contacting me or my husband. Thanks. Bye. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself.